Thank you, Chair Alvarez and members. My name is Eduardo Caballero, and I stand for equity, authenticity, and courage for myself and all others. I'm here to speak on the impact of the historic Expanded Learning Opportunity Program. While our state is in a budget crisis, it is essential that we preserve and protect the programs for our most vulnerable children. In the next few minutes, I will talk about who we represent, the data we currently have and need, and tell a story. I've been the executive director and co-founder of EDMO for 20 years. We are a nonprofit that engages roughly 10,000 students annually. We partner with 17 school districts and charter schools across 13 counties in Northern and Central California. That is up from approximately 2,000 kids that we worked with pre-pandemic, thanks to ELO-P. We bring high-quality science, art, tech, and social-emotional learning to students that wouldn't otherwise have access. Our children include Latino kids born to field workers in Salinas, Black and Asian kids from working class families in Oakland and Richmond, and rural white kids from parents struggling to find work in Lake County. I'm here on behalf of these children, their families, and those of the other members of the California After School Advocacy Alliance, otherwise known as CA3. We are a statewide coalition of more than 35 after school and summer providers, intermediaries, LEAs, and other supporters from across the state. Now for some data. Statistics about the impact of summer and after school programs are irrefutable. Summer and after school are the most inequitable time in a child's education. While all kids go to school 9 to 3, children from low-income families experience 6,000 hours less of learning time than affluent families by 6th grade. That's mostly because of inequitable access to out-of-school time programs. This opportunity gap directly impacts academic achievement, attendance, graduation rates, and even incarceration rates and more. ELO-P funding changes that narrative for kids, families, and staff. We have collectively raised the quality and quantity of science, art, tech, dance, theater, music, and academic support that kids receive in these programs. Our organization is impacting 5 times more kids since 2021, as have most CBOs increased their impact as well. We no longer charge families for most of our programs. Our industry has been able to raise wages for staff who come from the same communities that we serve and work in a sector that has been historically underpaid. Higher wages means higher staff retention rates, more continuity for students who need that continuity the most. The impact on working parents is profound. The cost of childcare is rising, with families spending close to 30% of their income on childcare, according to a 2023 study. An independent evaluator who surveyed our after-school EDMO families found that 99% of parents and guardians relied on EDMO so that they could go to work and school. When parents work and their childcare is free, they have more resources for other necessities, like food and housing. 81% reported that EDMO helped their child get their homework done on time. 83% reported that EDMO made their child more excited to go to school. Excited and more prepared kids means better attendance rates, as shown by numerous studies and our colleagues here. Now, one thing California does not have is any statewide data collection for ELO-P. The state must collect that data on ELO-P funds and how they're being spent by districts and which students are and are not attending programs. EDMO and our district partners already collect a lot of the data, including demographics, attendance, and more. So this data is already in place and being collected. It shouldn't be a big lift for the state to do this statewide. We need this, and I urge the committee to help us get this data collection started. I'll wrap with a quick story. Last summer, I was speaking with a site director in Lake County. She told me, "This is the hardest job I've ever had." Some days I wake up and I ask myself, why do I do it? And then I think about Cody, and she points to the seven-year-old blonde kid skipping into line. And she said, his mother came up to me one day with tears in her eyes to thank me. She told me he'd been kicked out of the only after-school program offered in her district. She could not work a regular job because she always had to pick him up after school, and oftentimes he would get sent home from school because of behavior issues. But ever since EDMO opened up a STEAM and SEL program in her school, thanks to ELO-P, he's thriving. So much so that mom got a good paying job with the county. She has housing stability for the first time. She's actually has money to save for a down payment for her own home, and her son is doing better than ever in school. The Expanded Learning Opportunity Program is the most important legislation enacted in our nation's history to address educational inequality in out-of-school time. I ask this committee, as the guardians of our state's most vulnerable children, please preserve full funding for ELO-P and help us measure its impact. Thank you.